basically when we start to make any journal entries, we need a journal names. So why this journal name has been created? Journal name is basically used to control the journals. So when we create the vouchers, like if I want to create the voucher related to the payment or related to the vendor invoicing or related to the general invoicing, related to the allocation, elimination. So for these particular vouchers, we have defined a particular journal names. Suppose if I click new journal names, I'm giving it as a demo. So here in journal tab, uh, you can see the journal type name. So currently Microsoft has given by default 48 journal types. On this basis, we'll define that this journal will be used for which transactions. Like we have the elimination. If I select the elimination, so only elimination journal can be posted with this journal. And similarly, we have the vendor invoice recording. So when we record the vendor invoicing, when we book the vendor invoicing, so this vendor invoice recording will be visible. So in Dynamics 365, when we go to the vendor invoice journal, so only this journal name will be visible. I mean, only this journal type will be visible there only based on this selection. So this selection is very crucial. First one is the journal type. So, so this is the journal type. And in the journal type and daily means the like in journal ledger module will define the journals. So this is used in that journal name. And the next boolean is the approval. So I mentioned that this journal name basically used for the control the vouchers. So approver here we have the approver. We can activate this and we can select the approver group here, like test group 1 or test group 2. We can select this approver group. So based on this approver group, when we going to create the journal or vouchers, so we need this approver group. This approver group means this approver group, whatever user containing in this approver group, only that user can perform this, use this journal name to book the vouchers. And the next boolean, we have the approval workflow. So suppose we want to run the approval workflow mechanism. Here only individual users wise control is given, but here the approval workflow wise control is given. So when we want to control the journal names with the workflow, so we'll select this approval workflow boolean true because we make approval one at a time. So that's why we have to disable this one. So workflow, and here we'll select the workflow. Whatever workflow has been created. Currently, the ledger daily journal workflow is created. So now, as per this approval workflow, this journal, this voucher will be created. This daily voucher will be created as per this approval workflow. And next, we have the blocking. Blocking means this journal will be private for this user groups. It means, suppose here I am selecting the user group test group 1. So how many users are assigned to this test group 1? Only this journal will be visible only to that particular users only. Suppose if third person came and go to this journal type and search for this journal demo journal and wants to make voucher entry, but he cannot make because this demo journal will not be visible to that particular user because we have the blocking, we have the private user groups. Okay. And next we have the number sequence for this particular voucher. We can randomly assigning anything. Mm, or we can create the number sequence as per our requirement. Let me tell you how to create. Just click on right click on this drop down, go to view details, new. So here we can create a number sequence also. If it is shared number sequence or legal entity wise or company wise, we can define this number sequence. INMF. And here is the segment, like the number voucher number series will be starting from this company. prefix, and if any constant you want to give, or this alphanumeric number, or here I'll remove this, and whether we want to this number sequence want to continue or in use. So currently it is recommended to use the continue number series. So and save it. So this number sequence has been created, and we can assign this number sequence here. So we have assigned this numbers sequence here. So whenever we'll create the any voucher using this journal name, this number sequence will be followed. Now coming to the new voucher, you might have observed when we go to the, let me go to the vendor invoice journal. Let me create the new voucher lines. So here you have observed we are having this voucher number series predefined. So whenever we'll click new line will be inserted, but the voucher number will be same. So this voucher number depends upon the setup here, new voucher. First, in connection with the balance, it means suppose in the voucher we have made the debit entry of debit amount of 1000, debit amount of 1100, and respective of this we haven't defined the offset account here. So when we click on the new, the next number sequence will automatically will be the same, so that we can here offset define the credit amount and select the offset account here. So next time when we'll create click on the new lines, so it will automatically generate the new number voucher. So this is basically in connection with the balance of the voucher number. When debit credit matches, the next number series will be different, or the next consecutive number series. And here is the manual. So when we select this manual number series, it means when we click on this vendor voucher, when we click here, so what will happen? A blank voucher number will come. So here it means we have to fill the manual number series. Currently we haven't refreshed this browser, so that's why it's coming. But when we select this manual, it means the blank voucher number will come. We have to fill the manually. And one voucher number only, it means whenever we'll create new voucher lines, only single voucher will be created for each line, whether debit rate matching or not. But it is recommended by Microsoft that we should use in continuous number series. Manual not also, because we do not have the continuity in the number series, so it is recommended to use this in connection with the balance. So next is the number allocation at posting. So what this boolean means, a number allocation at posting means, suppose I have created this voucher. So by default, system will give some other voucher number. Instead of this, system will provide some other voucher number like 00001, 0002 for next voucher. So it will give automatic voucher number. But when we are going to post this voucher, system will create this voucher number only as per the number series which defined. So this boolean means when creating the vouchers, it does not give the voucher numbers, but after posting, it gives the correct voucher number as per the number series. And this document number, you can give any document number, but this will be same for all the uh, journal. Whenever I will use this demo vendor invoice, so the document number you can see it is visible here. Mm. Here is the document number. So whatever we provide here, this will be reflected by default here. This is the document. So it is not recommended to use this because it will be common every time when we create the journal using this voucher. And next is the offset account. Offset account proposal means we can by default provide the offset accounts. Suppose in this way I have created the line, so I can see that the offset account is blank. So we can give the by default offset account here, ledger account, and we can select the ledger account. So it will automatically pick the offset account from here to the voucher lines. Here is the twist that suppose I have defined the offset account, and when I am going to make the vendor invoice on vendor master, we have also the option to define the offset account. So if I have defined the offset account on the vendor master, so by default system will prioritize the vendor master offset account instead of the journal name offset account. But if I click on this fixed offset account, in that case, the system will override the default setup on the vendor master. It will pick every time here defined offset account. So this is just basically the override the vendor master offset account. And this is the posting setup. As we know that posting, we have the current layer, text layer and operations layer and multiple other layers. So this is used basically to, if suppose I want to run the depreciation journal, so I can use the current book, or for income tax purposes, we want to run the depreciation. More of the businesses want to run the depreciation. So they can use the text layer. So text layer, so that for the separate reporting, they can see the text layer. Otherwise, for the accounting transactions, we generally use the current layers. Okay. Next important thing is that line limits. Line limits, basically this defines the voucher line limits. Here in the batch number, we have the vendor invoice journal. So how many voucher lines I can create? So this setup is define this 100. If I define the 100, and I can only create the 100 vouchers. So it doesn't mean I can create 100 lines only. I can create 200 also. Suppose in journal setup, I have given 100 lines, but in the vendor invoice journal, I have created the 200 line. So when I will going to post, so system what will do? System will post 100 voucher lines in separate batch number and rest of the 100 lines in separate batch number. So I can create the lines, but at the time of posting, system will post by this lot wise, 100 for each batch number. Okay, now this is also the same thing. The current by default currency setup, which will be reflected to the journal lines. If I give the fixed rate, it will take this defined INR rate. If I give an INR, if I haven't given the fixed rate, it will pick from the vendor master if there is any default setup. And this is the tax amount include tax. So this at the journal lines we have amount. Suppose I put the amount 100 rupees, so 100 rupees plus GST generally if this boolean is false, so what will happen if there is any tax, 100 rupees plus tax will be calculated. But if I click on this amount includes sales tax, what will happen? In 100 rupees sales tax amount is already included, so the reverse calculation will happen, that will perform by the system itself. And the next is this is the hide text fields in journal entry forms. So journal entry forms on vouchers, we have this fields, we can hide this from this boolean. So likewise, we have this setup, and this is the financial dimension. These are the default setups that we can do when we'll create a journal voucher. This default financial dimension will be reflected in the voucher lines. And for this particular journal, we have one of the important setup, that is journal control. So suppose I want to use this journal for only ledger transaction, for only bank transaction, for only customer transaction, so that I can define here. So and company wise setup we can do, like for INMF or for DNMF, I want to make I want to use this voucher for ledger transaction only, GL to GL transactions, so I can give this setup. But if I want to make ledger to vendor to ledger transaction, like we will book the rent expenses, vendor credit or rent expenses debit, so in that case we can choose this for this particular company, or we can define the all the companies. So this is the basically control. So user cannot make any other entries apart from this vendor or ledger. He cannot make the using the customer. He cannot make the entry using the bank. So this is the control setup for this particular journal. And below this, we have one more setup. Yep. Here we have setup on the dimension wise. Yes. Segment means financial dimension. So we can also control the financial dimension for this particular journal name. Uh, the setup is incomplete. Let me show you how. Let me take the vendor invoice journal. So here I can select the account structure. Currently, this INMF entry only have this, but only one account structure, this one. And here I can select the financial dimensions. Financial dimension, suppose business unit selected, and for business unit, from what value to what value. Means I want to control from value this to value this. So what system will do whenever I'm going to create the journal? So in the dimensions, in the financial dimensions, it will allow me to only enter up to that financial dimension. So it will be visible on only that limited financial dimension to me. The range what I have defined, 1 to 5. Only this dimension will be visible to me. So this is one more control on the financial dimensions at laser wise. So this is journal name setup. There is one more posting restriction setup. Here we can define the user group wise posting restrictions. Means you can specify the restrictions for each journal name so that user can post only journal that they create. So we can define this by the user group wise or by particular user wise or no posting restrictions. So whenever I put on this by user group, so I have to define the user group, and for that user group there will be posting restrictions. Means this particular user group only can post the voucher that he creates. Other users cannot post this voucher. So currently I'm putting it as no posting restrictions. So there is a posting restriction control setup also on this journal name. So with this we have done the journal setups. Anyone is having any doubt in this journal name setup? Anyone?